Check the bomb.
Hi everyone, my name is Megan and I am currently on week 3 of my study abroad, but I kind of want to make just a quick vlog to show you how everything's been so far. First things first, Anna, Grace, and I initially met in North Carolina right before we left for Tokyo, and of course we ended up going to the piano bar. It was a really good night, but it was definitely dead. UNC was on their spring break, so there's really nothing going on. But then we finally had our flight. We ended up traveling over 30 hours to get to Kyoto, and by the time we got here, we were so exhausted and I was just not having it. I thought the world was going to end, but luckily we ended up getting settled into our dorm and everything ended up getting a lot better. On the second day, we did just small trips because I was just not feeling it, jet lag and all that. So we ended up going to Hirano Shrine, which is literally less than a 2-minute walk from our dorm, and then we also went to Kinkakuji, and they were both just so beautiful. It was really just such a good day. And then later on that week we ended up meeting up with Bryce, and he ended up showing Anna, Grace, and I around Kyoto Station in the mall so we could, figure out how to use public transportation and all that before we went to Doshisha to get our new student stuff. When we finally did get to Doshisha, we ended up meeting these 2 girls named Kai and Kat. They're both super cool. We ended up clicking with them instantly. And then all of us and Bryce went to the bars later that night. And we learned Bryce definitely knows how to party, and he really is the life of every party. Finally we ended up finishing up week 1, just kind of shopping around Shinyokoku. It's like a big shopping district around here. It's so crowded. And we ended up just shopping around there and preparing for week 2 to happen. Week 2 started off with a Japanese language interview. I was very nervous about it, but it was nothing to be nervous about. So we ended up going to Doshisha, and we found out Doshisha is literally touching the Imperial Palace. So we ended up stopping by the Imperial Palace while we were waiting for our interview. We found out it was the first day of Sakura season, so we had our very first blooms coming in. And so of course that meant we had to take hundreds of photos of the Sakura. We then quickly became friends with all of our roommates later on that week. And we ended up going to this all-you-can-eat hot pot shop where all the boys made it their mission to max out how much they could eat. And then at the end, they ended up ordering over 50 plates. It was absurd. Later on that week, we just hung out a lot with those boys. We ended up going on many side quests with them, and we went like bowling and more restaurants. We had a really good time. And then, but finally later that week, Anna, Grace, and I decided to explore Gion. Gion is where I truly fell in love with Kyoto. I had been feeling very weird when I got here because it's such a big change and you're doing so much by yourself. And we finally get to Gion, and we just I cannot explain to you how beautiful it is. It really took me back, and I was just so thankful I was in Kyoto at that moment, and I just could not get over how stunning everything looked. Later on that same night, I ended up meeting up with a guy that we met at Doshisha. Me, Anna, Grace, and him went to a bunch of cool music-themed bars, and we actually went to like a jazz bar, which was really nice, and then we ended up going to this rock bar, which, shout out to the owner, because I just kept mentioning how I like System of a Down to Gibson, and then he ended up playing all of Toxicity, and the moment the beginning chord of Prison Song came on, I don't think I've ever been more shocked in my life. It made my whole week. It was great. Finally we ended up finishing up week 2 in Arashiyama, looking at all the monkeys. They were just so cute. Anna, Grace really wanted to go, and I was like, okay, let's go. And I just could not get over how cute they were, and like they were just so close to you. They were just running right by you, and it was a little intimidating. We'll admit that. Definitely a little intimidating, but it was overall really good. And then overall, we just could not get over the view of Kyoto from Arashiyama. It was just so beautiful, and it was like so green, especially like Sakura was out, so it's really, really nice. And then now week 3, sadly, I don't have a lot of footage. On Monday we went back to Gion. We ended up actually renting out kimonos. So early in the morning we got up, we ended up going down to Gion, and we had some professional ladies like dress us in kimono so we could go take photos and walk around all day. It was really amazing. I've never had an experience like that before. You really got to understand just how like intricate putting on a kimono is, and like I know for a fact you could show me how to put it on 20 times and I could not figure it out, and it was really amazing, like the art that they put into this outfit. And then we ended up walking around trying a bunch of food. We went to this haunted house that reminded me of House. It was not scary at all, but we were just having a blast. It was so much fun. But yeah, other than that, I really didn't do a lot because I ended up really sick and in and out of the doctors. But luckily things are getting better. I'm on a lot of medication. Classes are starting soon. It's been great. I'm getting better day by day, and I'm getting more excited around being in Kyoto. I'm just excited to leave my room soon because I've been kind of quarantined. But overall, that's it. Yeah, this will be my first vlog. I'm gonna try to be more consistent and post more. Right now, this is all I got. I'll see you next time. Bye!